Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Gaurav, for hosting me. Pardon me for my outfit today. I am actually running a lot of errands at home, so not in my office. But
That's
work
okay.
from home is a new normal, so I
Right,
hope it works for everyone. Yeah,
right, right, sir.
yeah.
So quickly, we just want to understand about your new venture, Flyhi Finance. Please share some insight, what it is and what addresses, what the problem
So
it
I
addresses.
think what we are trying. Sure. All right. So first of all, we are trying to fill a gap in the education industry, especially on the study loan industry, so to say. Because if you see the typical education loan options which are available for all the budding students are
Right,
very, very limited in nature.
right,
Because a typical education requires a hell lot of a documentation, a lot of a track record, and it requires a lot of credible repayment history as well as
right,
repayment capability.
right,
And at the same time, the typical education loans are available for overseas education, and the ticket ranges from 10 lakhs anywhere goes up to as high as 70, 80 lakhs or even a crore,
right,
depending on certain courses. In contrast, especially in India, say, we are trying to cover almost all the areas of the education. Okay, be it a K-12 education, wherein is your kid is in a kindergarten or up to a 12th standard school, we are seeing a lot of demand in terms of the education loan need, so to
right,
say, and especially after the COVID, we have seen there is a cash flow crunch situation, and especially if you have two kids. So a typical CBSE or an ICSE school fee cost somewhere close to 1.5 to 2 lakh rupees. And if you have two kids, about 4 lakh rupees a year.
right,
And we have realized there was a lot of delay in terms of parent paying even the school fees also. So we see a lot of market and the demand on that side.
right,
Plus the known schooling courses, so to say, whether it is a coaching classes, suppose you are preparing yourself for NEET, or say you are preparing yourself for IIT, or any other engineering classes, or for that matter any vocational classes, so to say. There is a lot of online courses happening nowadays. MBAs, BCAs, or MCAs are happening online. And even nowadays, upgrades of the world, or say Byju's of the world, are conducting a lot of online courses. So there is a plethora of courses which are happening online, and we see the non-conventional route of getting a study loan are very, very limited in nature.
right,
Especially if you are a young grad, does not have too much of a repayment credibility, or say repayment history, or does not have a sound form 16. Where will you go? But you want to study, you want to say go for another executive education. So there
right,
are very limited options available for you, being a parent, or being a student, or even being an early salary person. So that is where the gap which we are trying to fill. So we already have come up with the products which is as low as 30,000 rupees loan, and even as high as say 6 lakh rupees. So this range by and large covers all your kind of potential study loans products, be it your loan for the schooling fee, loan for the vocational courses fee, loan for the executive education fee, or so on and so forth. So there are tons and tons of study loans options which we are now trying to address the gap through our niche NBFC, which we have just established, or in the process of establishing, I would say.
wonderful, wonderful. So, are you also planning for some, B2B offerings like some specific offerings for SMEs and startups, like corporate offerings?
Uh, See, I'll tell you what, our typical model is B2B. For an example, just to give an example, we are tying up with plenty of schools. We are tying up with plenty of coaching classes,
Hmm.
plenty of online, courses providers. So they are all kind of uh, medium to large, enterprises. Okay. Uh, So they are developing their own infrastructure, their own ecosystem. So our model is that do a tie-up with them, do a subvention-led models and provide almost 0% rate of interest to the end consumer, be it a student or a early salary person who wish to go for an executive education course. So just like a typical consumer durable model, we are trying to do a tie-up with all the business, B2B service providers. So our service provider in this case are basically the either the schools or the coaching classes or the vocational courses classes or all the executive education classes. Over a period of time, right now we are doing B2B2C kind of a model, but over a period of time, we also want to fund the ecosystem of all these service providers,
Awesome.
be it for upgrading their classes, be it for upgrading their infrastructure or adding more centers from one location to another location. So it's like we are going to do a backward as well as forward integration over a period of time. But right now we are restricting ourselves that we're going to fund the student, but that funding will not go in student's account. Funding will go into the respective institute account.
Right.
That's the model right now.
Right.
Because the advantage here for the enterprise which works with us is that we are upfronting their cash flows. At the same time, student is getting the benefit of that upfronting of the cash flows in the form of a 0% rate of interest. If the institute is offering a certain discounts, we are passing that discount in the form of a zero rate of interest to the end consumer.
Interesting. So, and what kind of marketing strategies you're using currently to grow, like in terms of both organic and inorganic?
Right now, honestly, I am personally not putting any effort, be it organic or inorganic, to be honest, on the marketing per se,
Or
because
maybe
we
the
are
basic
setting up
user
our
acquisition
backend
strategy.
infrastructure. Yeah, user acquisition strategy, as I told you, that it's through the tie-up of all these institutions, which I would say an pretty much organic route that you end up tying with one institution and you make one reference from one to another, or maybe one to 10 or 12 institutions further. We're going to have an incentive-led model for all the institutions. If the one institution refers us another institution, so through this route right now, the idea is to just have a robust networking in place. Once we have the networking in place, parallelly we are investing very heavy amount in terms of building a digital user journey wherein we can onboard our end consumer, and we are going to boast of saying that in just 5 minutes time we'll be able to disperse your loan if everything is in order. Hopefully we have the tie-up in place, we have all the documents in place from the consumer as well as the institution, so we'll be in a position to at least disperse this entire loan in 5 minutes time. And if suppose if the consumer does not have the requisite documents, then obviously our system will provide them the option, then they can do and complete their loan application journey in piecemeal basis, and we'll be able to kind of provide the sanction or the decision of that loan in a very quick time. So we are developing that piece right now. It's almost under the UAT stage as we speak. So for the next 100 days, me and my team is working very hard in putting the entire front end as well as the back end infrastructure in place. But we have parallelly started, disbursing the cases in a conventional route, wherein the customer is giving us their KYC and the typical bank statements. These are the only three documents we are taking: Aadhaar, PAN, and the last 6 months bank statement. Basis these three documents, we are kind of assessing the loan eligibility as well as kind of doing anything and everything possible. But once we are done with this backend and front end development, we will definitely look for I think inorganic route of marketing as well. Obviously, social media will play a very, very vital role for us. We would want to approach the institution and the ecosystem pertaining to that, and we would try to address our target segment basis the social media marketing strategy, I would say.
Great, wonderful. So being a corporate leader for a very long time, and then entrepreneurship. What is the shift? What is the mental shift you see, and what is the kind of challenges and your experiences with this process?
Yeah. Honestly speaking, I became entrepreneur to explore myself, and it was in year 2019 April, I would say, when I formally decided to quit SL or Z Group, so to say, and
Right.
then became full-time entrepreneur by acquiring those two companies which I was managing in SL Finance, by the
Correct.
way.
Correct. Correct.
Uh,
In
six
fact,
months
as
down the line,
BimaDirect was
we
when we actually
yeah,
met first time also.
absolutely correct. So I acquired those two companies, from SL Finance.
Right.
6 months down the line, we were red carpeted by Corona, COVID first wave, and then a year down the line by second wave, and then the third wave. Uh, it was heck of a challenge, to be honest, but
Right.
we were we were lucky that we didn't have money to burn, and hence the whole world decided to work from home, and we were very happy to kind of experience that kind of a shift in the culture or in the the thought process of the people,
Correct.
that work from
Correct.
home is possible, because we, being a very frugal organization, we were setting up the entire operations in a very, very frugal manner. Hence, like you and me are discussing now, we used to have the Microsoft Teams at that time, or Zoom wasn't that much, I would say, famous at that point in time, but we were using the conventional video calling methods, or even through phone, or even WhatsApp used to be the flavor for us. And we kind of used WhatsApp to its core in terms of reaching out to people who were based either in Chennai or in Hyderabad, or in, say, remote locations of Tamil Nadu, or even elsewhere.
Right.
So we started hiring people even pre COVID days, and we gave them the opportunity to work from home. We supplied them good fancy hardware as well as software, and it was working very fine for us. And that was the only reason we could survive those 2-3 waves, honestly. And it was tough, to be honest. It wasn't easy, because the culture, building a culture of frugality in the company, was the most difficult aspect. Because if the employee joins, he expects the company will be big and I will get anything and everything at my fingertips or at my doorstep. So managing that kind of a mindset of people, or rather I would say, uh, inculcating that mindset of a startup culture, was very hard, honestly, very, very hard. Because I am, you can say, 20 plus years experience guy. I'm not a young grad from, say, IIT, or
Right.
for that matter, with a person with 2-3 years of experience. I've also lived a good part of my age, I would say. I'm 40 plus now. So,
You're quite
uh,
young.
so from that perspective, changing myself and then expecting the change from the companies, from the people which are joining your company, was
Right.
also very, very arduous task, honestly. So this was the most difficult aspect. But let me tell you, people say because of Corona we had bad time or whatever. I would say Corona helped us, because by virtue of that, everyone started, especially the experienced people who used to have a habit of going to office every day and then coming back at the night. I mean, they had no option but to change themselves. So that
Right.
helped us. That
Right.
entire thought process actually helped us, setting up our, work from home kind of a culture, and which was very, very frugal for us. And obviously, the customers, earlier, the excuse of the sales guys are that unless and until I'm visiting customer, giving them the presentation, they're not going to buy insurance. Uh, this changed the entire phenomena. Now the customer is saying, "Don't come and visit me, just explain me over phone." So this
Right.
was the reverse shift, we experienced, and that actually helped the business in a manner, honestly. We could hire people, best of the talent, while and they did not have to shift to either Bombay or to Hyderabad or to Chennai. They can work from their own homes, and we supply them the right infrastructure. That's it. So this helped. Honestly, at the latter part of the, by the end of second wave, we were pretty much equipped and we were up and running, and we turned profitable, by the way. And then last year, I sold both those companies, Wealth as well as the BimaDirect, to Choice Group. So it was a fabulous experience. But yes, from the development perspective, because BimaDirect, we wanted to launch quite a few products, honestly. So the IT team, which we were working with, obviously they were all became victims of Corona, and the development got delayed very, very heavily. Because of the development, the fundraising plans also got disrupted. And So that was the side effect, I would say. The business organically turned profitable, but we could not grow because we could not complete the development story. By that time, I always had a dream to run my own NBFC in the study loan segment, which I just told. So this plan got materialized. So I said, now I cannot focus on multiple things. And as an entrepreneur, while you are an employee, you are a general manager of a bank or a NBFC, you can handle multiple things because you have a large team and as well as the large cash flows or funding to support you. But the moment you are an entrepreneur, your own bandwidth has to be focused towards one thing at a time. And at the same time, you are constrained with the limitation of the funds. So by virtue of that, you have to focus on very limited amount of activities. So that's where I decided that let me liquidate my two of the businesses so that I can infuse those funds into this NBFC, because this will require capital as well as my time. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do. And the earlier part of my conversation with you, I've already covered what is the concept, what we are trying to build. We want to just give the loans to all the budding students, honestly, so that we can help them realize their dream of right education. Over a period of time, we're going to also do a lot of impact-based funding, into that area, and that's what is the wish, and we are inching towards that. Right now, we're just building the basic infrastructure, wherein we can we will be able to supply as low as 20,000, 30,000 rupees loan to the person who's looking to upgrade himself, or even say, a boy of a driver, a boy of a maid, wants to do a vocational course. We want to, actually help them out and give them a 0% rate of interest. And not only that, over a period of time, we also, want to do a tie-up with a lot of career counselors as well, so that the people who need the counseling, especially at the middle of the pyramid, I would say, that segment of kids or students, they need a lots and lots of counseling and the guidance. Uh, I'm telling you, we're not even scratching the surface, because they are the people who will become your customers. They are the people who will become your even employees. They are the people who will become your, ambassadors also, brand ambassadors also. So with one stone, you can actually hit many, many, many targets over,
Into the
right.
ticket.
So that is where, yeah.
No, please carry on. I was just saying, in fact, the ticket size that you're working will is kind of, quite enabling also for the lower class of
Yes.
the pyramid.
Absolutely, and that's where the key is, Gaurav, because the banks or the typical NBFCs, they aren't focusing on low ticket size because of their cost of operations, because of their traditional way of distribution, or the traditional way of even underwriting the loan.
Correct.
We are going to have a very templated approach, and that's what I'm saying. We just need three documents. In fact, not even documents. We just need your bank statement PDF. Otherwise, we're just good with your Aadhaar and PAN number. That's all. So basis that in 5 minutes time, I'll be able to decision, and if everything is all right, we'll be able to simultaneously disperse your loan to the respective institution. And I'm not shying away with 20,000, 30,000 rupees loan, because we understand, the people who need this much money have, goes through a lot of difficulty in obtaining a formal credit.
Right.
So we are trying to fill that gap, which which enables people to go for the right upgradation of their skills, or even to the education.
Absolutely wonderful, sir. So, just some advice to handle tough times, for startups, for budding entrepreneurs, like the way you did in.
All right, so let me tell you, the budding entrepreneurs, if you're married, make sure you keep aside 2 years of your ration. Okay. And if your wife is not working, especially make sure that you put the money in her account, so that you're not under any pressure that how the home is going to run for the next 2 years.
Correct.
The last 24 months are very critical, let me tell you. In fact, for any startup, in Gujarati, people say, I'm not Gujarati though, they say 1,000 days are the most crucial days. Any startup or anything you start, it requires 1,000 days, which means in third year, you will start making the profit. On 1,001st day, if you have received 1 rupee of profit, which means you've created a good organization or a good business, so to say. So the first, to reach to the third year, the first 2 years are very critical. So you as an entrepreneur need to be extremely stress-free that my next 2 years cash flows are taken care of. If I cannot take care of, then make sure that you have the founder or the co-founder or the backer in place. So that at least for the next 2 years, you do not have to worry about how your home has to run. Okay. I'm telling you, that takes a huge psychological toll because I see a lot of youngsters or even experienced people, by the way. I should say youngster, a lot of experienced people I've seen, they've jumped the bandwagon, by seeing the, what's happening in the entrepreneurship. And maybe I also want to become entrepreneur, and they are just in a spree of, joining the bandwagon. And I've seen people leading to depression in just 6 to 7 months time because they realize it wasn't that easy. So this is a tough journey, let me tell you. All the startup budding entrepreneurs or so, I understand. It's very exciting. Like, I am sitting freely, wearing whatever I want to wear, going, whether to go office or not to go office, there is no boss here. But at the same time, it is a huge pressure that no one is watching you. You're watching yourself. You have to watch yourself, and people down the line are looking up to you. So make sure you have at least 1 year of rations for your staff, which means the 1 year of salary or of operation, cost of operation aside for your staff, and at least 2 years of your family expenses aside. That's what I would advise